comes down to basketball, when it comes down to actual talent and not taking dirty jabs, not punching someone in the throat, not kneeing someone in the groin, not flagrant fouling someone from behind while their back is turned to you, right? Not taunting somebody for a long time with your finger, right? Not walking into Indiana saying, walk in your trap, take over your trap, right? Not all these things, not trying to fight Caitlyn on the court. Those won't win basketball games. You know what will win basketball games? What this woman right here, Elizabeth Clark, does on a nightly basis. The face, oh my, the face of Marina Mabrey right here on your screen. Let this be a microcosm for the next 10 years against every opponent who tried to hard foul and do CC nasty. I mean, Angel Reese.
Look at this, man. Watch this. Marina always trying to score something with somebody, bro. This is crazy. Look. And it's Kelsey Mitchell. Come on. And look, Marina knows she was wrong. Because, you are so right. Kelsey Mitchell. Now, you know Mabrey was wrong because we've never seen Kelsey Mitchell do anything like that.
Forget everything else for a second. The sold-out arenas, the record-breaking ratings, and the superstar, whose presence has pushed the entire league into a level of attention it had never experienced before. Forget the packed crowds across the country, the exploding jersey sales, and the fans and media following her from city to city just to witness another Caitlyn Clark moment. Because one brief moment, caught on camera, has suddenly become the image everyone is talking about. And once you see it, you cannot look away. There was Marina Mabrey, standing near the tunnel as Caitlyn Clark stayed behind. After the final buzzer, signing autographs for a massive wall of fans who refused to leave. Then the cameras caught Mabrey's expression, and the internet immediately exploded. It was not just a casual glance. It was not the look of someone simply walking by. To thousands of fans online, it looked like an unmistakable side-eye, the kind of reaction that instantly fuels speculation about what someone might be thinking. Within seconds, the clip was everywhere, and social media has not stopped debating it since.
Some part of this is real. Why? Because this is some Canadian singer. I don't know. This is her, what I think was her partner. This is a woman who was about who in heels about 6'5". Why do I know that? Because I was sitting here. I was right here. This is the Canadian singer. I don't know who it is. She was on Celebrity Cam. This is said Canadian singer and a partner. This is my footage. This is my footage. So, Marina is clearly trying to talk to Caitlyn after the game. Caitlyn does not want anything to do with Marina Mabrey and just walks right by and starts signing.
Here's the honest question that nobody really wants to sit with for a moment. Who is actually lining up for a Marina Mabrey autograph? Nobody is skipping dinner, sitting in traffic for another hour, or waiting 90 extra minutes after a game just to get a signature from Marina Mabrey on a ticket stub or jersey. That is not meant as an insult to her as a basketball player. It is simply the reality of where these two players currently stand in terms of cultural influence, ticket sales, and pure star power. One of them changes markets every time she steps onto the court. The other does not, and has not for a long time. And it seems that growing gap, one that has only become wider as the season has continued, finally caught up. With Mabrey in a way she simply could not hide from the cameras this time.
Please, game's tightening up.
Look at that. Threes, please.
Connects on a 3 minutes.
Threes, please.
Supposed to be around 15
okay, MHA,
tonight.
what you gonna do with it? You know you don't want to give it back. Oh, look at that. KK.
This was not just some ordinary regular season game on the schedule. This was Marina Mabrey's own team playing on its home court, in front of fans who had paid to come and watch her compete. Then the Indiana Fever walked into that building and came away with the win. Caitlyn Clark and her teammates did not simply show up and play. They left with the result in the very arena where Mabrey is supposed to be, setting the tone and controlling the atmosphere. For any competitor, that is not an easy thing to swallow.
Don't lie, what we're seeing from CC is freaking ridiculous. She is hooping on another planet right now. Oh my God. Last night, she put the work. She put belt to ass on my Toronto team, on the Toronto Tempo. It was also Caitlyn Clark's Canadian debut, her first game in the city of Toronto, and she did not disappoint. She left the entire country of Canada excited. 24 points, 4 3-pointers, and 7 assists. And just honestly, just cooking. Like some of the buckets I've seen, ridiculous. Like she's the most exciting player to watch in the league. I can't even.
Losing at home is always difficult, no matter who you are or how long you have been in the league. But losing on your own floor while the opposing team's biggest star spends the entire post-game period signing autographs for a long line of fans who specifically came to watch her play is the kind of moment that can stay with a competitor long after the final box score has been forgotten. So when people online say Mabrey looked salty, that is exactly what they are talking about.
100% like aware. I know when I went too far with things, like, and it's like shameful. It's like, really, Marina, like that was ridiculous. So like, for example, the Caitlyn thing, like when the play was over and everyone was like, that was obvious that my emotions of us losing and losing and losing, and then she's like low-key punking our team on top of it. Like that was too far. Like that was too much. But then when you go to like Unrivaled this season, and like the little scuffle between me and Suge, like that was perfect. Because it was just enough that it like fueled me and the team. But then on the flip side, like when we were in Indiana and it was, everyone's booing us, like it feels like shit. We end up losing by like 25. And it's like, Marina, that's your fault, buddy. Like, you can't do that.
It was not just one random look caught at an unfortunate camera angle. To many fans, it represented the built-up frustration of watching her own home crowd, inside her own building, treat the visiting team's point guard like she was the real main attraction of the entire night. Moments like that can stay with a competitor, whether they publicly admit it or not. Nobody enjoys watching a rival receive more attention in your own house than you do, even on your best night. Most experienced professionals manage to hide that frustration and keep their emotions from showing on camera. But this time, Mabrey's expression gave the internet something to talk about, and fans immediately began drawing their own conclusions.
This is crazy. I have never seen Kelsey Mitchell react like this. I honestly don't think I've ever seen Kelsey Mitchell get this mad. Get so mad to get up in somebody's face. What happened? What did Marina Mabrey do to evoke this out of Kelsey Mitchell? Also, you guys, look at Marina Mabrey's reaction. She doesn't even do anything. Kelsey gets in her face, she's yelling at her, and Marina Mabrey just looks at her and walks away. Like, this is even crazy for Marina. She has crowned herself the crash out queen. She didn't even say anything. She wanted no smoke. I need to know what happened though. Like, was anybody at this game? Was anybody sitting courtside? Does anybody have a different angle of what went down? Like, what caused this? I have so many questions. You have like one of the calmest players in the league going off on one of the biggest crash outs in the league, and the crash out does nothing, and the calm player is going off.
And that was not even the only flashpoint from that night, which makes the entire situation feel even more revealing. Before the post-game tension had even started, Mabrey was already getting into it with Kelsey Mitchell, getting right in her face, talking nonstop, and gesturing wildly as if Mitchell had committed some unforgivable offense on the court. Mitchell was not taunting her or doing anything outside the normal intensity of a competitive game, yet Mabrey stayed locked into the confrontation, practically going nose-to-nose while demanding to know exactly what was happening. Then, after the final buzzer, came the unmistakable side-eye toward Caitlin Clark. Put those two moments together, the heated exchange with Mitchell during live action and the visible reaction toward Clark afterward, and it becomes much harder for fans to dismiss everything as a random coincidence. It looked like Mabrey was frustrated from the opening tip all the way to the final horn, and instead of turning that emotion into extra intensity on the court, she appeared to direct it outward at the people around her.
On the floor, that is an ejection. If you do that, if you do that in the NBA, you're gone, bro. Like, what are we talking about? This is common sense. This is the most bottom of the barrel of a professional league I've watched, bro. Like, what is this? And she's sitting there laughing like it does. Bro, oh my God, man.
She's always in the mix.
WNBA, y'all never fail to outdo yourselves. You guys never fail to outdo yourselves. It's crazy.
There's a scrape across the face. That's what Clark didn't like.
Boom. Look, she could have got whiplash. She could have got whiplash, all types of stuff.
For anyone who thinks this incident came completely out of nowhere, it really did not. The history between these two players points to that. This is the same Marina Mabrey who was previously caught shoving Caitlin Clark, a moment that drew plenty of attention because, when the replay was slowed down, it looked unnecessary and unprovoked. Clark was not doing anything remotely provocative in that earlier clip either. When you put that incident alongside everything that has happened between them since, it starts to look like part of a recurring pattern. There has been a quiet but steady tension between the two for some time now. And when you look closely, it has never really seemed to be about basketball, fundamentals, or defensive schemes. Instead, it has consistently centered on attention, who the cameras focus on first after the game, who gets the biggest spotlight, and who fans actually line up to see once the final buzzer sounds and the arena starts to empty.
Mabrey gets honest about Caitlin Clark's shove. 2 days after the shove, heard around, I'm pretty sure that means around the women's basketball world, Mabrey was heard saying, D word if I do, D word if I don't. While on Instagram Live. Need to stay off them Instagram Lives. Then she goes on to say, I don't care, honestly. I really don't. Obviously, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to go after a certain player for certain. Yeah, okay. You're not trying to go after a certain player and you're not trying to hurt nobody. But you bulldozed somebody that was blindsided and eventually got hurt. We can literally say that her injuries started from this.
So, watching Mabrey's frustration spill out in real time this season, seeing her own team continue to struggle while Clark's team steadily climbs the standings, and watching her look visibly outmatched on her own home floor in front of her own fans, there is a certain undeniable irony in how everything has unfolded. Not because anyone truly wants to see another professional fail or struggle in her career, but because there is something almost karmic about watching someone who once put real energy into getting under a rising star's skin now seemingly struggle in front of everyone to process that same star's continued rise toward the top of the sport.
It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize.
Here is what makes this entire situation genuinely strange. If you step back and look at the bigger picture, player after player across the league seems to react negatively to Caitlin Clark instead of simply recognizing what she is doing for the sport as a whole. Every time she plays, ticket demand rises, hotels in visiting cities fill faster, local businesses see bigger crowds, and television ratings jump in ways the league has rarely experienced before. By a wide margin, Clark has become one of the biggest drivers of attention women's basketball has ever seen.
Women are 100% jealous of Caitlin Clark. You cannot sit here and look me straight in the eye and tell me that this girl, Caitlin Clark, who put your sport on the map, who pays your bills, who is your meal ticket, is the 11th best guard in the WNBA. You can't sit here and look at me in the eyes with a straight face and say she's the 11th best guard. This doesn't have anything to do with skill. This doesn't have anything to do with how she plays on the court. This has to do with they can't stand how much of an impact she has had on the WNBA. They can't stand that she has put their sport on the map and that she made their sport relevant. Yes, there's been plenty of other legends before her, but they never ever had the impact like she.
And instead of some established veterans recognizing that rising tide as something that can benefit every roster and every paycheck across the league, too many seem to treat Clark like a threat rather than an opportunity. When you strip away all the excuses, it can look like jealousy, plain and simple. Not necessarily jealousy of her ability on the court, because plenty of players can match her shot for shot on any given night, but jealousy of the massive attention surrounding her. Fans are willing to wait hours after the final buzzer for an autograph or a quick photo. That kind of connection with a mainstream audience cannot simply be manufactured through marketing or forced by a league office. It either develops naturally over time, or it does not. And for Clark, it has happened in a way that remains incredibly rare in women's basketball, from her college career to the professional level.
It's really cool that people are waiting 2.5 hours before. Like, I don't know if I would ever do that, but I really appreciate their support. Like, that's a really cool thing. And it just shows how much this one opportunity means to people to be able to see a player that they probably watched on TV a lot and experience a moment that they've, felt through the TV screen or, seen online. And I think that's a really cool thing. So I'm just super excited that I
Look at any arena where she plays this season, and the evidence is already there before the game has even officially started. Lines stretch around city blocks hours before the doors even open. Parents hold handmade signs their children created the night before with poster board and glitter. Adults who may have never watched a single WNBA game are suddenly showing up because their daughters specifically want to see this one player in person. This is not manufactured hype created by some marketing department. It is an organic cultural phenomenon that the league could never have deliberately created, even if it had spent an entire decade trying to make it happen.
Is Caitlin Clark not trolling, but signing her jersey in Toronto in Marina Mabrey's building? Marina Mabrey choked the game, which is why I call her Marina Maybe. Maybe she'll play, maybe she won't. Maybe she'll play well, maybe she won't. I did not know this was this many. It was this many Caitlin Clark fans in Toronto. Some was traveling, of course, but guys, look at all the 22 jerseys out there. Like, what? This is majority. Like, this is not. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit that again. This is not just majority. Like, this is not just the Indiana Fever line. This is not just the Fever entrance. This is the whole entrance right here, which what it looks like at least, right? But just look around. All you see is Caitlin Clark jersey. You can barely even see a Tempo jersey, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, you got a Kawhi Leonard jersey right here. But God, this is crazy, man. The Caitlin Clark effect is insane.
Now, to be completely fair, Marina Mabrey's expression in that viral photo can be interpreted in many different ways depending on who is looking at it. Her supporters will naturally argue that the moment is being blown far out of proportion, that it is just one frame taken from a much longer video, captured at exactly the wrong second. They can also point out that nobody watching from home can know for certain what Mabrey was actually thinking in that precise moment. That is a fair argument. After all, people's faces are constantly frozen in awkward or unflattering expressions, and social media loves taking one split second and turning it into an entire story about someone's character.
Like, you see these two here. Like, they're going to be unmistakable here and here. Here and here, that's where they are. There's one with the glasses. You can see her in my video as well. But as someone who sat right here as this is going on, yeah, they are the exact people. Except from a few meters away, it looked like Mabrey was trying to talk to CC after the game, just ignored her.
But let's be completely honest about what that image represents to a huge portion of fans watching this entire situation unfold. Whether that interpretation is fair to Mabrey as an individual or not, the picture has come to represent the uncomfortable tension that seems to follow Caitlin Clark everywhere because of who she is and what she has built in such a short time. She commands a level of mainstream attention that most players in this league, past or present, could only dream of experiencing throughout their entire careers. And when someone reaches that level of visibility so quickly and maintains it night after night, it naturally puts a mirror in front of every other player in the sport, whether they actually want to look into that mirror or not.
He is targeted for so many different reasons. One, these WNBA players, they're bullies, they're jealous, they're envious. I believe there's some underlying racial energy there as well. You have veteran players who have been in the WNBA for years and they feel like they didn't get their recognition, they didn't get their marketing. But Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA a phenom. This has been her whole entire life. She's been breaking records. Her resume proves it with her accomplishments. She was the Rookie of the Year for the WNBA, right? So you have players that are mad at her status, but she earned it. She earned it. She's fought for it. She's very competitive. She's an athlete. And they're trying to take little digs at her when they can. And these refs, they're senile and they're acting like they don't see anything.
You can see this dynamic playing out in interviews all the time if you pay close attention. Reporters regularly ask veteran players about Caitlin Clark's impact on the league, and you can watch some of them carefully choose their words as if they are walking through a minefield in real time. Some handle the question gracefully, giving Clark credit where it is deserved while still promoting their own game and personal brand. Others seem to bristle at the question, giving short responses, quickly changing the subject, or offering that familiar backhanded compliment about how her presence is good for the league, delivered in a way that suggests mixed feelings. That discomfort does not appear out of nowhere. It can come from watching someone younger, someone brand new to the professional league, rapidly reshape the landscape where they have spent years building their own reputations.
I mean, I'm super excited to be here. This is my first time in Canada in general, so it's been cool to be here and experience your culture and be in Toronto and experience the city. So just super excited about that. Obviously, I've traveled internationally and played in a lot of different places, and I think it's really fun to just see different parts of the world. And, you know, basketball is a game that brings a lot of people together, and I think that's what's so amazing about it. And I think that's kind of what I've experienced and been able to see from afar for them through their first season. Is just the amount of people that are supporting the tempo and are excited about the tempo and excited about women's basketball in this country. And obviously their NBA team here is fantastic, so that certainly helps as well. But I think that's the biggest thing, is just the excitement. I mean, even at our hotel last night, there was a few people that came up to us and were like, you know, we love the tempo and we're so excited for the game tomorrow. They maybe said they would be cheering for us this game, but just to see their excitement and their joy for the tempo and just basketball in general is really cool.
Here is the part of this entire story that gets overlooked amid all the drama, and it really needs to be said. Clearly, Caitlin Clark did not take anyone else's spotlight away from them. She built her own spotlight from the ground up, with logo threes that seem impossible and no-look passes delivered at incredible speed and distance. She built a massive following throughout her college career, long before she ever stepped onto a professional court, creating enough demand for arenas to add extra sections to handle the rush for tickets. Clark did not personally create the record-breaking jersey sales, major endorsement deals, or international media attention that followed her into the league. The fans created all of that themselves. Millions of people from different countries, age groups, and backgrounds independently decided she was a player worth watching, even on a random Tuesday night in the middle of summer.
Caitlin Clark is not walking around demanding you talk about her. She's doing the opposite. She's not saying this is my league. She talks about her teammates. She talks basketball. And when she's dragged into controversies that have nothing to do with basketball, most of the time, she'd rather not talk about it. And she shies away from it. The fans made this decision. The audience makes this decision. You can debate whether Caitlin Clark is the best player in the WNBA. I get that. You can debate whether she's the MVP. I get that too. I love these debates. These are basketball debates. But her impact on the popularity of this league, that's not much of a debate. And acknowledging Caitlin Clark's impact does not diminish A'ja Wilson, does not diminish Olivia Miles, does not diminish Paige Beckers. In fact, it's the exact opposite.
That kind of popularity simply cannot be manufactured by a league office or forced into existence through a clever marketing campaign. No matter how much money is invested, it has to happen naturally, because something about the way Clark plays, carries herself off the court, and consistently performs under pressure genuinely connects with a massive audience that had been waiting for a reason to care this deeply about women's basketball. That overwhelming popularity is not something Clark was simply